So I'm out here at this park, and I was reminded of a pretty weird quote from Kobe that I came across in my research for Deep Game. And Kobe said that as he was learning how to become a leader, he was out at the park one day and looking up at the sun, and he had this realization about leadership from the sun. And he said that he was looking at how the sun always knows how to go away at night, so that there's this cyclical nature to all of life on Earth. And if the sun was always there and just beaming down on the Earth all the time, things would burn up and life wouldn't be sustained. So the sun has to go away and come back and go away and come back. And at the time, Kobe was a very intense leader. He was constantly on his guys and trying to impose his agendas on them and so on and so forth. And when he really turned the corner and won those second two championships and went to the finals 3 times in a row later on in his career, it was because he learned how to ease off and go away in the same way that the sun goes away at night. Kobe would ease off of his guys, give them space, come back, and just have this gentler approach to his leadership. But the lesson I want to give to you today isn't so much about leadership, although that's a good one. It's about where Kobe got that lesson from in the first place. And most casual basketball observers and most players in general, that would be kind of a weird lesson to learn, right? Kobe's out at the park one day and he gets a leadership lesson from the sun. Like, what's going on there? That's so strange. But actually, Kobe got his basketball lessons from all kinds of different sources. He said that he used to watch movies and even cold call actors in those movies and ask them, like, how did you get into character before that movie? What do you do to like click into that mental space where you turn into somebody else? And he applied that to his process pregame before he would like become the Black Mamba and get into his character. And so he would get these lessons from all over the place, way outside of the world of basketball alone. And this ties into a principle that I call holistic thinking. Holistic thinking operates on the premise that everything in reality is connected to everything else, in the same way that if you look at a car, no one part of a car drives the car. The engine itself can't drive without the wheels and the gears and all of that working together holistically. And you can like put an engine on the ground and rev it up, but it's not going anywhere if it doesn't have wheels, and the wheels aren't going anywhere without the engine, and so on and so forth. So it works holistically, and all of reality is this interconnected system, which means that everything is connected to everything. And so you can get lessons about the thing that you're interested in this case, basketball, from everything, because everything is connected. And so these sort of genius level thinkers like Kobe Bryant will literally get their lessons from everywhere. They're thinking holistically. And so the way that Kobe put it actually is that the world becomes your library. When you know what you're looking for, the entire world is this vast library that can help you master your craft. And the way that most players look at this, or the way that most players learn about the game, is by only looking to the game. And it's sort of like going into a library and just reading the same book over and over and over. And yet you're in this vast library with thousands of books that are available to you. And so you're missing out on most of the teaching that's there. So you might call this narrow thinking versus holistic thinking. Narrow thinking is the approach of only learning about the thing that you're interested in from the thing that you're interested in. This is very limiting. And when you take a more expansive approach of holistic thinking, what you're really doing is learning from all sources that are available to you. It's sort of the difference between like getting all of your water from a single well versus living in the ocean and you're just surrounded by water all the time. And so this is why players like Kobe Bryant and other genius level thinkers are able to make these quantum leaps ahead of all of their competition. Nobody can even catch up because they're learning and growing 24 hours a day. Everything that they come into contact with is teaching them more and more and more and more about the game or about whatever they're interested in, rather than the player who is only getting their lessons from one single source, from the game itself. So take this on. This is a much, much different way of thinking that a lot of players take with the game of basketball, but it's one of the most valuable ways that you can approach your life is to think holistically. The lessons are everywhere if you know how to look. Hey, it's Taylor. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, the best thing to do right now while it's fresh in your mind is to head over to deepgame.com and join us in our free masterclass. Now, this is where you'll learn all 8 laws of the deep game and all of the fundamentals that you need to know about the part of basketball that's played with the mind. We've had players call this the best hour of basketball learning of their lives, and it's completely free right now. So head over to deepgame.com to join us, and I will see you there.